Welcome to a new season. We are back once again. Let's get right into it. You have reached the I'm Dealing With broadcast. I'm Shon, your host. Stay tuned today as we talk about something very interesting. Where we have been. Here we go. Hey, this is I'm Dealing With. I'm Shon, your host. We're going to be talking about how we've been away for roughly almost a year. I think this is going to be the first broadcast. The last time we broadcast anything was basically this time last year, in which we talked about the last thing called restoration of a man. And whoa, was that very impactful. It has reached so many men as well as women to where my wife and I both have started a new channel, which is also called An Uncommon Love on YouTube, where we talk about the simple fact that me as the prodigal had left home and then decided to come back. And let me tell you, that is deep. So we both talk about it from her standpoint of being a stander and me being the prodigal coming back home. And man, as you can see, I've been transparent about a lot of different things, even from the standpoint of starting this channel from the ground floor. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people that didn't realize how deep that discussion really was, how deep my background was, where I had been. And now I was dealing with, the title, I'm dealing with the simple fact that now we've come back home and restored our marriage, that we took the time to just focus on us without any extracurricular engagements and disruptions and people coming into our lives and just, how it is, we have all these appointments, you got to do this, you got to do that. We just kind of shut everyone out and focused on us. And in the midst of that focus, it has led us to doing some things together and reaching out to other families and things of that sort that have been going through and are going through some of those things now. But I tell you what, I wouldn't change a thing, because at the end of the day, it all led up to this, right? And there are many of you that have been listening ever since I started the I'm Dealing With podcast, and now also on YouTube, have been listening. I mean, all across the world. I can't believe how this has manifested into 28 plus, I think maybe 29 countries now. And U.S., being the top, but I mean, as far as Japan and over in Africa and the UK and all these different places, I just go, my God, how things have been so awesome. So check this out. We're going to get right into our discussion today. And one of those discussions are dealing with change. Oh, yeah. A lot of us have problems dealing with change. And man, change is tough, not tough. When you're trying to do some different things, or you've been used to doing things for so long, and then all of a sudden now it's time to switch up. It's time to do something else, time to do it different. But sometimes we get so set in our ways that we don't want to change. And that's right, men, I'm talking to you. We don't want to change because we're set in our ways. We've been doing things a certain way, a certain style, through a certain instruction, through a certain training for so long that we don't want to change. The sad part about it is we know everything in life changes, right? And we must also be able to change as things changes, because even in your relationship, if you think about your relationship or your family dynamic, for those of you that have a significant other, maybe you have a wife, a fiance, maybe you have children, even they go through changes. Think about your children go through changes, for a while. It's amazing because I thought for a long time that my children would just be dad this and dad this and dad that. And then next, you get to a point in life to where they're like, no, dad, I want to hang out with you. I'm going to go be with my friends. And, oh, no, dad, you're just this, that, and the other. They've gone through a change. And then now you've got to change because you thought they would be around for a while. And then all of a sudden they go, or you've been traded in. Yeah, you've been traded. You've been a third round, a ninth round draft pick, if you want to call it that. And you've been traded because now they're having friends. Think about your wife. She has been enjoying things with you for so long that maybe life comes into play where there's health issues. Maybe there's a dietary issue. Maybe there's allergic reactions and things of that sort. And then now she has to change some of the extracurricular activities with you because she can no longer do them, or she has to do them a different way. Better yet, maybe she has to eat a different way. So now you used to run to the store and do all this kind of stuff and go everywhere and eat anything. And you can't do that anymore because things have changed with her that you now have to change. Think about all the things that you've had to change as men. We don't have that, that nice figure with the arms and stuff anymore. Yeah, we still got some arms, but there's no muscle there. It's a little flabby. Now we don't have the six pack anymore. Now we got a 1-pack, right? And it's gone from a 6-pack to a keg down here in the belly region. Think about the things that you've had to change, where your mind tells you, yeah, you're still young and you can do that. But then your body says, no, you're not. You're not young anymore. And if you keep it up, I'm going to leave you stranded. And that's what happens because change is inevitable and it happens to all of us. And the problem is when we refuse to change, we're holding ourselves hostage to things that end up taking over us, or we get ran over. If you think about the digital age that has come into play over the course of many years, I remember watching the first Mac come into play because my background was in the printing aspect, so I was in the digital print. But before digital print, we had plates and we had regular lithography, and we had people who were called 4-color strippers, not the kind on the pole, but 4-color strippers, meaning they would strip up lithography and photos and interconnects and internegs and make them finals and have to do all these different things. And these journeyman strippers for a long time thought they would never get replaced. And in comes the Mac, the very first Mac. And it took several years because it always failed. It always failed. It could never keep or hold a candle to what these journeymen could do. Then, as a portion of time came into place where the right software, InDesign, Cork, Photoshop, when all these things came to play to where now it went from a journeyman taking internegs to turn them from intermediates into finals and shooting on camera back and forth to now the Mac could process that. So now you took away the cameraman now. And then after that, then next thing you know, instead of the proofer making proofs, all of a sudden now you have a digital proofer. So all of a sudden now you wipe away another job because now the proofer who does that job to create different proofs for the client to approve of and look at different color, that's now gone. So now you have a digital proofer now that prints those things out. And then you have a plate maker who's used to making plates based upon these negatives, based upon this film, to where now there's no more film. And then all of a sudden it's direct to plate, meaning you have computers that can send everything out via electronic, and they will image it right on a plate. So now the plates pop out without the plate maker, and then all the pressman has to do is put that plate on the press. Well, then now you have not even the plates anymore. Now they have direct to print, electronic, because of change. And change has happened. And it's going to happen to each and every one of us in every area of our lives. It doesn't matter if it's dealing with your relationship. It doesn't matter if it's dealing with your job. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with your family dynamic, your children, maybe your mom and dad. Think about your mom and dad and your parents and how they've gone through changes. Your grandparents, how they've gone through changes. You think about all the different things that different ones have seen over the process of time from the early 1900s. To now being in 2022. If some of those people are still alive, think about all the history where they've seen change from horse and buggy to now electric vehicles. Wait. Yeah, I said that. Think about it. You have people that are still alive that remember horse and buggies. They remember maybe the first Ford, the first motor car. And with that used gasoline. And now we're looking at full-blown electric vehicles because of change. And I'm here to let you know, if you don't begin to prepare yourself for change, to welcome change, harness it, develop it, prepare yourself for change, what's going to happen is you're going to become the age of the dinosaur. And we all know what happened with the dinosaur, right? They became extinct. And in every man's life, you're going to encounter different things in relationship, in technology, in job structure, where there's going to be a requirement on your life to where you're going to have to change your way of thinking, change the way you process, change the way you love, change the way you communicate, change the way you network. Change is inevitable to each and every one of us, whether we're men and or women. Change is going to happen. There's going to be changes even in your relationship for those of you that have that significant other. There's always going to be change, and you have to be willing to go through the change. Oh, yeah, it's not easy. Sometimes it's downright uncomfortable, right? Very uncomfortable because we're just so used to doing what we do as men. We've always done it this way. We were taught by our forefathers, taught by our grandfathers, our aunts. Our aunts, yeah, sometimes aunts, because there are some men that are raised by women. But we're taught by our grandfathers and uncles of doing a certain thing a certain way. There's a certain way you got to sweep that grass, certain way you got to lawnmower, certain way you have to shoot those videos, certain way you have to work on that car, certain way you have to clean the garage, certain way you have to organize. But there comes a time in life to where things change, and maybe you're not working on the car as much as anymore. Maybe you have a gardener now and you're not working in the yard and on the grass anymore. Maybe you used to be a chef and a cook to where maybe you don't do too much of that anymore. Maybe you used to be a runner and used to be very athletic and used to jog and run and lift weights and go to the gym, but your body has let you down and you can't do much of that anymore. And we know ever since the age of COVID how things have set in. People that have gotten COVID, some of them can't do the things that they used to do before getting COVID. And they've had to go through changes. So my question to you is, as change begins to happen in each and every one of your lives, what are you going to do with it? Are you just going to struggle through it? Are you going to just keep on saying, I'll never change? I'm going to keep on doing it the same way, same place, same time, same thing? Or am I going to harness it? Am I going to welcome it? Am I going to do it? Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode of the I'm Dealing With broadcast. And as always, be blessed.